So this is corresponding with the interest of the consumer, because the consumer is the victim of strong companies. If we let strong companies do whatever they want, they will act egoist. And the consumer is the one who should buy the products. And the more products the consumer buys from a company, the better the company will work, the better the company will prosper. And if a company gets the opportunity to catch all the consumers by ethical or non-ethical reason, the more it will prosper and the more the incentive is to act like this. So the consumer must be protected from several aspects in this social way. He must be protected by a socialization of individual interest as instrument of market control. I will come back to that in the next one. He must be protected directly and not indirectly. It is not enough to say, if the companies are prospering, then the consumer is also prospering. And many people say, yeah, if the economy prosper, if the share market raise, then the workers also fine. That's not necessarily like this. You cannot say just because the three companies are prospering, the workers have good income. We have a lot of examples where we have a high rising market, but the prosperity is not coming to the people. Yeah? The same happened to the consumer. You cannot say, once the traders are free and can do what they want, the consumer will be in good condition. That is not true. We must protect the consumer artificially because the market is egoist. And third, we must reduce asymmetries of information between trader and consumer, the right to be informed. It is not enough just to say, yeah, let's protect the consumer by giving him rights if the consumer does not know how to use these rights. And if the consumer has not have the sovereignty to understand, oh, I'm harmed in this way, this is a problem for me, I should not buy that product, or I should ask a certain question to the trader. Is this product clean for me? Is this product, has this product the same specifications like the product of the concurrent? And this is already a very specific problem in heterogene situations, heterogene related societies. Maybe like in Indonesia, where we have a lot of very clever consumers in the big cities. And then we have maybe consumers who are not so interested in the media, in the public media, in the swarm intelligence, and maybe not so sovereign. Just to explain, this is the system of the competition. Now we see here restrictions to the competition. The competition seems to be the function where the consumer is acting, where the trader is acting, and it can be harmed from outside. For example, by mergers. Mergers of two leading companies will make a monopoly. If there's a monopoly, there is no free pricing, there is no concurrence, and the consumer will not take advantage of the fight of the market participants. Or cartels, like in Germany now, all the car manufacturers of Germany meet over years and decided we will not go under certain prices for certain parts, spare parts. So the consumer will get only the expensive spare parts, or they say we will not use certain innovation in our cars, not in BMW, not in Mercedes, not in Volkswagen, not in Audi, and the consumer will not get innovation because that innovation will be expensive for some of the manufacturers, and so they make an agreement not to do that. That is disturbing the consumer, but on the other hand, it is disturbed by the consumer. The consumer is disturbed by the behavior. Next one, please. So now we come finally what the consumer has to be protected for. We talk about incentives, right? Incentives of market participation. If you want to board a plane in Jakarta to go to Dubai, and they say we're not boarding by zones, and you say, I will not wait the zone, I will just go. And the company, the flight company, will leave you in, they control it, I'm not interested in. No one will anymore comply. This is something which we see, there is a wrong incentive, right? There is a wrong incentive to all the participants. Because if I am very honest, and I wait for my zone, and I see the others already in, and if I wait, I'm the stupid one who is the last one in the plane and have no compartment for my luggage, I will not comply. This is wrong incentive. So we need incentives. Consumer set incentives. Why? The consumer is going to the market. The consumer is choosing a product. The consumer buys the product and he gives the money to the trader or to the producer. This means if a lot of consumers do this, a significant part of the consumers do this, then the traders and the producers will win in the market. Because they will sell more products. See Apple. Somehow, Apple made it that people pay every price for iPhone. Every price. No matter how innovative it is, no matter there is maybe other products, the consumers buy it. Don't say this is a wrong ethic. Because Apple made somehow a product and make an image of the product. This was marketing. They made good marketing. This is an entrepreneurial achievement. And the consumers give incentive. The consumers pay for it. And the consumers made Apple big. What if Oppo, I don't say something bad about Oppo, maybe good, yeah? But what if Oppo, or let's call it Oppa, yeah? Not make the company bad because Oppo, I have no problem with Oppo, yeah? Oppa made it and manage it to make a marketing lying to the consumers, and tell the consumers about their product, tell lies about Apple. For example, they say Apple is producing in China using wandering workers, using children workers, and then lie also about maybe chemistry in that aluminium which make the consumer hand cancer, I don't know what. Totally lie. And they say we don't do it, but it is a lie because they also do it. And the consumer believes that and buy this offer. Not Apple. Then the wrong one would be rewarded. The wrong trader, the wrong producer would be rewarded. So what we see here, the consumer must decide about what is good and what is not good. But not for his own good. He must decide because otherwise the market will set wrong incentives. The market will not work. And the competitor has also, of course, an individual interest in having a good market, but on the other hand, the competitor is also a function, not anything else. That is very unhuman, yeah? He's a function, as the consumer is a function. Because the competitor has a task in the market, an institutional task. He has the task to deliver products, and to deliver good products. Because the product he delivers is something the consumers need. And if the consumers get good products, and they can decide about the good products, then they will only buy the good products, and then we have a good distribution in the market. So the market distribution is only working fine if first of all, the consumer is not misled, the consumer is not threatened, the consumer is well educated and know what he does, he is sovereign. And on the other hand, if the trader is not molested, if the trader is not molested by lying of concurrence, if the trader is not harmed by concurrence activities, because only then the trader is always able to offer a good product and has a chance to get a good reward for his product. Only then. It means we have an institutional function for the work competition of performance by protecting consumers and competitors' interests in the competition law, and that shows very clear that the consumer and the trader are not protected in their individual interest having a good product, yeah, or cannot understand what it is and sell it back and get the money back. That's not all. It is much more important that the consumer and the trader are protected as a function, institutional function in the market, in the social function, in the social, let's say, developing procedure of the competition. This is important. Yeah? And this is in the interest, in the general interest of all of us, of the society. It's the general interest on avoiding market disturbance. Because only if the market is not disturbed, then the market can work in the distribution function, which is in social. So, just information, the dualism, we have consumer protection that is totally harmonized by European Union. Of course, this system is not invented by me, it is invented and developed long ago in the 60s, the 70s in Germany, and we have that concept now in the European Union, and we have the protection of the concurrent interest of the sovereignty of the consumer. Next one. And what is now important is, what is, in this sense, now unfair? What is, you could also say, what is unfair? Is that unmoral? Is it about moral, or what is that? What is unfair for you? If you talk, this is not fair. If you say, this is not fair what you've done to me. Yeah, your husband or your wife leave you. This is not fair what you do to me. Is this the fairness we talk about? No, it is moral. Moral is something individual or something of a group. We all have our religions, we all have our social understanding of things, we all are group members, and we all are family members, we come from different cultures. So, if the moral would be the important thing, then we would not be able to decide who's moral. Who's moral? Is it the moral of Christian, of Catholic, of Muslim, of Buddhist, or of Zunda, or Balinese, or European moral? Yeah? This is not possible, yeah? This is not for pluralism, because a moral concept would mean that the society will decide for one moral, and that is not Panchashila. So we cannot talk about moral. Unfairness is obviously not moral. Unfairness is ethic. Ethic understood in a business ethic way, in the business law. And why ethic is something better than moral for the law? Because in the law we must handle it. We need rules to handle something. We cannot talk with that metaphysical concept of moral and fairness and nice or not nice. This is horrible. It's horrible for a law expert and law maker. But ethic, and business ethic, is setting incentives in the market, and that is set by a certain business ethic concept, which is decided from whom in democratic system, from parliament. The parliament is set together in a pluralistic way, if it's a good democracy. So the whole society decide about the way, the direction of the ethic in the business law. That is how laws are made. In a democratical way, used by pluralistic parliaments, proposed by a government, but the government has not the power to propose and always bring it to the parliament. The parliament may say, no, we don't approve this. So we have a democratic process in the business ethic. And this is unfairness in the functional way. Unfairness is not moral. It's not nice to mislead the consumer. It's not nice to mislead the poor grandma to tell her, take that book and you will live 120 years. It's not nice, yeah? Of course not nice. Yeah? But we must ask ourselves, is it fair or not fair? And then we cannot say it's, for example, unfair that in an advertisement someone use jokes about, I don't know, about some cultural, old, traditional figure in one culture. Yeah, make satirical aspects. Yeah, you know, Charlie Hebdo, or also in Paris we had a problem with an advertisement using Jesus Christ's last meal and making fun of that with naked people. And of course the Catholic Church want to sue that, and then the question was, is this unfair advertisement or is it not unfair advertisement? If it's moral, it's not unfair. It's not fair. But if it's business ethic, we must ask about the function of the unfair competition law. The function of the unfair competition law is an institutional function of the market. Next one. So, we can say misleading and aggressive commercial acts are disturbing the market because they are disturbing the sovereignty of the consumers. If you are afraid, you will not make a free decision. If someone tells you, if you don't buy that product, you will die, your decision will not be free. Yeah? If someone tells you the truth about the product, we don't know if that product can cure your disease. We don't promise anything because it's natural labor. We think it can. It may make your health better. Then you can decide, I will read something about it. We have that studies, we have this studies, we have this studies, please read all, and then decide if you want it or not. I also take herbal medicine and not sure if I just throw the money out of the window. How can we be sure? I will be sure after the death, and then I will not know it anymore. Yeah? When I die with 100, then it was okay. Yeah? How can I be sure? But they don't write, eat that, and you will not be sick anymore. So, if you don't buy it, you will get sick, you will die already with 52. The consumer is not sovereign. And the same happens if you make the consumer feel uncomfortable in a situation. You go with a lot of consumers to some room here, yeah, and then close the door and take the key and make advertisement and tell the consumers, all those people, you will not leave this room before you buy at least one item. The consumer is not free. And if that works, if we allow this means that wrong incentives are set in the market, because this horrible company will make money with that. And the company who says, no, we must be careful with the consumer's mind, yeah, this company will maybe lose. So, we must ask ourselves, what consumer are we talking about? This is what Pashidata already said. What is the consumer we're talking about? And there is not enough to say an individual or a company, a legal person. It is to understand what function has the consumer, and the function of the consumer is to decide what this means. There must be a significant group of consumers, significant for the market function. It means if he believes that he drinks that Obat, he will not die anymore, he's not significant for the market. He will be significant for the society if he goes to the hospital and the society will have to cure him because his insurance maybe doesn't pay enough. Then his family will have to pay his also transaction cost. Yeah? But he's not significant for the market. He will not move the market. We all will not move the market. If only we here in this room believe something, we will not move the market. But if 20% or 15% or 10% of the consumers in the market believe something, they can move the market. This is already significant for the market. It is market relevant. This means it is not the individual consumer and the stupid consumer, the most stupid consumer we protect. It is also not the most clever consumer we protect. Just because I'm a hard scientist, yeah, and I know how to read studies about Obat. I can read all, yeah. Oh, this study is not good because it's only the placebo group was not big enough, something like this. This is not significant because the normal consumer does not know that. We must decide which consumers are addressed, how the consumers understand this advertisement or this act, and we must decide in which situation the consumer is more attentive or is less attentive. If you buy a piece of butter or some eggs, how long, in average, you stand in the supermarket in front of the eggs before you decide to buy it? A part of that you decide, I want to have kampong eggs or kampong eggs or normal eggs. Not long, right? Do you read the packages of the eggs? Do you read it? Seldom. Maybe not so long, right? But when you buy a car, 2 minutes. This is already long. Yeah? I look at organic yes. Yeah? When you buy a car, how long will you decide, how long will you think about buying this car? Should I buy the Daihatsu or better the Toyota? Then you read a lot of things in the internet. You will read a lot of opinions about this product. And then after some people, me, I'm very fast decider. After 2 days, I know I want that. But other people, like my wife, says, are you crazy how you can decide? You need 6 months for deciding what car we need. Yeah? So the consumer needs all and is more attentive. This means he cannot be misled, not so easy, like to buy a butter. So if I want to sell him a butter which is not halal, yeah, I just write it a little bit small there on the package, not halal, attention, but very small, the consumer will not notice it. Yeah? But I don't know halal cars. Yeah, but if the consumer should be misled by buying a car, it is very difficult. Yeah? He will check all. This means we must define the reference consumer in this sense. And the reference consumer is not you, is not me. The reference consumer is a normative consumer model. This is not Mr. Müller, and this is not Mr. Giuliani, or Mr. I don't know what. That is a consumer, this is decided by the court. The court will say, normally a consumer, an average consumer, would understand this advertisement in a certain way, there is potential for misleading, but a normal circumspect consumer who has the potential to understand in a sovereign way will not believe it. Sometimes the judges do like this. Sometimes the judges in Europe say, me as a judge, I can decide that. I go to the supermarket, normally I buy X, and normally I understand what is there written. And normally I don't look on the other side what is written under the X. So an average consumer would maybe miss the next one.